back to the Irish Mags Show, episode 128. We had a brief week of absence last week, just to have a little bit of a debrief and exhale after a crazy season. But breaks don't last that long because things have been happening in the Newcastle United world. I'm Paul, I'll be your host for this, and I'm of course joined by Alan and Krisho. Krisho wearing his whiter than white Newcastle United polo shirt. Starched, bleached, washed, cleaned for the occasion, Krisho, I believe.
Yes, indeed. And I know we're going to move on to it very quickly, but this is one of the most beautiful tops of last season's stuff, out with the jerseys and stuff, but this is real. This is kind of classy. If only that was kind of material. It's kind of like plasticky, kind of weird stuff here, but it's still a really nice top. Like, it's good for the summer.
They don't make them like they used to, but the concept of a very nice top, Krisho, hasn't been going down too well in the Newcastle United world. And it's something we will have to touch on in this week's episode. We will, of course, be talking about the brand new, I don't want to say exclusive because it's been leaked for weeks and months, but the brand new officially announced home kit for next season, which doesn't seem to have landed very well among fans and has even divided this very trio you were watching and listening to on this podcast to an extent. So we'll have a little chat about the kit. And then, lads, we have to jump straight into transfer talk because, believe it or not, boys, believe it or not, as we sit here recording this on the 10th of June, Newcastle United have already made a signing. Never mind letting go of players and selling players, we've actually made a signing. Who are we? What are we doing here? This is not last summer, but that's a very, 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 very good thing. Okay, let's just get it out of the way, lads. And I'm going to start with my opinion.
Right.
When I saw this kit drop a few months ago and it was leaked, I took solace in the fact that it was leaked on Twitter, because usually things that are leaked on Twitter are bullshit. However, as the weeks went on, it became quite apparent that it was not bullshit, even to the point where we saw Joe Linton wearing it, and Joe Linton would never lie to us.
No.
I can't say I'm a big fan. If anyone hasn't seen it, folks, the new Newcastle United kit, the traditional black and white stripes, if you are watching on YouTube, that Alan is wearing are no longer the design of our kit. There's a couple of, three slightly thinner, thick stripes, and then a lot of thin stripes. And the word barcode has been non-stop going around. I saw a very good reply to one of George Calkin's tweet that said, not surprised that it hasn't got a very good reception. People are still trying to scan the barcode or something. There was a pun made anyway.
Get the beat there.
But Krisho, you, like me, are not really a fan. In fact, you may even dislike it more than I do.
It should have been, look, it was leaked. It should have been leaked into the River Tyne and washed away, because essentially it's honestly one of the worst I've seen in a long time. Since the Wonga days, some of those were dreadful. Like, but this, especially, have you seen the long sleeve one with this? I know it's 3 blue lines, but it goes all the way down. It's
a lot of blue.
Dreadful. Yeah. Like the barcode thing. Supposedly, what the commentary from today was is that the legitimate match day shirt is actually looks a lot better. I don't know how, since it's the exact same design,
right,
but it's just a better quality. It's kind of the black stripes are a little bit faded, so they're not as kind of in your face. But the actual £85 kind of fan one, oh my god, I saw close-ups of it and I was like, ugh, Christ! I don't care what you say. I mean, maybe if it had Guinness 00 as the sponsor on it with the blue and the black and white Al, it might look actually kind of nice. But I just can't see myself buying this one. I have to say, maybe the away jersey, but not this one. This one is woofed, stinking. 2 out of 10, stinking.
2 out of 10, Al. Krisho's raised a good point there of like when was the last kit we had worse than this one? We've had a few stinkers.
We've done an episode, right, where we rated all the jerseys.
We did. We ranked them all, and definitely the Wonga days came into it.
Yeah.
But that was more because of Wonga than it was about the kit itself. We've had some tragic away kits. I was drawn back to the Northern Rock yellow.
I love that kit. That's
of course
savage kit. It's a savage kit.
Come on.
Yeah, I still have it. It's upstairs.
Oh my god! Did anyone see also? Well, the camera was panning around on Twitter, showing around that there was a yellow goalkeeper jersey. I think it was, or I'm not sure if it's a goalkeeper jersey.
It was released. It has like a weird design, like kind of the side and the shorts of it. It's another one that seemingly is nicer in person. That's what I did here today. The two keeper jerseys are actually nicer in person.
Like you are,
So
just like you are.
There's
just
an
like
orange one.
yourself, Alan.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, look, it's 2 out of 10. There's probably people out there who wouldn't even give it 1 out of 10. And part of it, you have to think, okay, obviously when you do something different, people don't like change and it is a big move away. There's also the barcode thing making a mockery of it. There's also people's feelings towards the club after the season that's passed. And I'm going to ask you, Alan, why you're more in favor of it. But just while we're still sticking on why we think more in favor of it, not in favor of it, while we're still talking about the negative reaction to it, do we think the reaction or the landing of this kit into the Newcastle United fan base would be different if there was a sponsor on the front of it, depending on who it was?
It does depend on who it was, but I also think that the landing of the kit would have been a hell of a lot different if last season went different. If we had finished 6th, got in Europe, everyone would have went, it's not a great kit, but we don't really care. It's grand. And everyone would have, with a terrible season.
So we don't have anything else to care about, so we care about this.
It's a bit like that, yeah. It's we like to hear the sound of our own voices. We like to moan. It's something to moan about. It is what it is.
Look, can we not discuss here how they can release the bloody home jersey without a sponsor on it? Are they expecting to get a sponsor and then get people to go back in, get the sponsor put on, or buy another jersey, or what? Like, it seems so unprofessional.
They are probably expecting people to buy a second kit, and people will. So it's a PSR loophole, probably.
Crikey. Or an Adidas.
Funny you mentioned that because Chelsea obviously are a club notorious for not having that front of shirt sponsor. I can't imagine we're going into the season without one. I don't know why we don't have it yet. I think there is something to be said. In the past, people have been happy to get a kit without a sponsor on it. But I think that's because people really liked the kit and therefore were happy enough to not have one on it. Al, you did say you don't mind it as much, or at least you don't hate it as much as perhaps the rest of us.
I don't hate it. They tried to do something different. I'm not saying it's a nice kit. I'm not saying it's a nice kit. It's not a Newcastle kit, if you know what I'm trying to say here. It's they tried to do something different. It didn't land, but the reaction that some people are giving it as if it's hoops and not stripes, like it's not the worst thing that you've ever seen in your life. I don't get the absolute hatred of it. I've seen people giving out that the club said jersey in their tweet.
Yeah,
that's how bad people are getting.
People see that.
I was going like, what the hell? What's this all about? Like, it's a kit, it's a jersey, it's a top, it's whatever the hell you want to call it.
A strip.
It's, and I would have called it a jersey. Like, so
we do call it jersey here in Ireland. For anyone
it's
who's
a
not
Gansey.
Irish,
it's a Gansey.
We always call it a jersey here, and I would always refer to it as a jersey. But I think kit is quite common.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why people are honing in on that. But it is the internet, after all. People will find anything, of course.
It was just the whole thing of the jersey. Like, I just think they did try something. There's only so much you can do with black and white stripes. And I think the club have realized they can't do what they've done this year with it ever again. But it's a learning curve, and we'll never see anything like it. Like, I'm just a little bit disappointed in everything Adidas have had to offer so far. Bar the remakes
from a kit perspective, or even with the training, because the training gear and stuff, some of that's quite nice.
Training gear, like as Chris said, he's wearing. I don't mean he's wearing a plain white polo shirt.
Yeah.
But that's arguably one of the nicest things they've released.
Because it's clean.
Yeah, but even these stupid stripes here, why are these so big now? Like, it's... When we got Adidas back, I was so excited. And I've been so underwhelmed with some of the kits they've released for us. And I'm not just talking about us. I was saying to you before the pod, I think the only kit that they've released in the last year or so that's actually been decent is that Villa kit that they released this year. But that's a remake again. They're not doing anything new that you go, oh God, in 20 years' time, that will be a classic kit. They're just they're all generic kits. Like, even this season's jersey for us if you look at the Eintracht Frankfurt jersey for this season, same jersey, just different colors.
Yikes.
They're all just generic jerseys now. So like I just don't get it.
If you think about it, right, like Adidas's logo since their inception, I think, has been 3 stripes. Our jersey is 3 stripes. I don't know, sometimes it's been 5, but I think it's 3 stripes, right? And I'm just thinking, once we got in with Adidas, I thought, oh my God, we're going to have the best jerseys up for the next 5 to 10 years. And then to the second year into it, maybe they're just getting this one out of the way, I hope, because frankly, I can't believe that they released this, there must have been so many sign-offs on this for someone to go, yeah, that's a bloody nice jersey, that one. Yeah, put more blue on it. Put more blue on it.
We just don't know who those people were.
Yikes, they're not going to be wearing it. The blue stripes they're massive.
Yeah, I don't like the blue.
They're far too
and there
big.
was too much blue because it was on Nick Voltamati's arms, and his arms are very long, so there was even more blue because his arms are so long in the long kit. Yeah, I'm not loving the blue either. I'm not loving the whole thing, to be honest. And Alan, your point is valid. Down the line, is this going to be something people are going to want to buy in 15 or 20 years as a retro kit in classic football shirts or one of those places? I don't think so.
No.
I can't
I'll still buy it. Like I'm not going to stand here and say I'm not buying it. I'll still be wearing it next season. I don't care.
Are you going to buy it now?
Absolutely. I buy every single kit every single year.
Alan's
never not bought
a
kit, all 3 kits, I would say.
I am 33 years of age and I still have every single Newcastle kit I've ever had. And I'm talking about from when I'm this tall. I still have every single one of them. I've never thrown one out. I will buy every single day all the time.
People say you're not a real fan unless you live in the town where the club is based or you're from there. Bull fucking shit, Anna Williamson personifies that. I mean, look at his room behind him. It is what it is.
Thank you.
Okay, lastly, to save this, lads, if you could put a sponsor on it. Guinness Zero is something that's circled around for a while. Obviously, the club have good links with Guinness, which we know all too well because we had a lovely documentary made with the Irish Mags and Guinness. If anyone's missed that, go check out Premier League socials, Irish Mag socials.
There was no 0-0. There was no 0-0 there.
There was no 0-0 left, but that could be something that might win people around. We've seen that work with Bohemians in Dublin. For anyone who's outside of Ireland, they've had kits with Bohemians or with Guinness on it, sorry, that have looked very tasty. But I don't know if you heard of any other rumored sponsors. I know that there's the Saudi Air kind of thing floating around, which would link to the owners, but any other ones?
Whoop. I think Whoop.
Whoop is gone. That's been proven to be wrong. That was just some YouTuber. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I can see where people are getting the Guinness 0-0, and it would suit it because the 0-0 is that color blue that's on the sleeve. But I think people are adding 1 and 1 and getting 6 with that one. Come here, don't get me wrong. I'd absolutely love a Newcastle kit with Guinness on the front of it. It would be everything I'd ever want. Big typical Irish drink on me jersey. Happy out. I have a funny feeling it's gonna be a well-known brand, but not a Whoop brand. It's going to be an odd brand, shall we say, like a car brand or something like that. I don't know. I can't really see. I've seen a couple of rumors on Twitter, but I just think it's going to be something from left field that we haven't really spoken about yet.
I'd be amazed if it wasn't Saudi. Is it Saudi or Saudi or whatever it was?
Saudi.
Has been connected to the Weekender and stuff. I'd be surprised if it's not that, but time, I suppose, will tell.
But the only thing is, if it's Saudi, we can't have Saudi because they're linked to PIF, and we can't have linked party deals because of what Man City done. So it's pointless. So yeah, like I don't think it makes financial sense for us to have a Saudi company on the front of our jersey, which is stupid.
Interesting.
Krisho, who would you, if you could sign up our new sponsor now and agree an old 100 million deal, who would you have on the front of this kit to save the kit?
I'm telling you, know what I'm going to say? Newcastle Brown Ale. I mean, just a different new modern version of the logo, but I know they're probably owned by Heineken or somebody now, or Diageo. But if they could strike something somewhere, or just a picture of Kevin Keegan, that'd be awesome as well. But Newcastle Brown Ale would be legit. That would save that jersey probably from its demise. Did anyone see the queues outside the club today? There wasn't any. That's why you didn't see it. there was like 6 or 7 people standing outside because they've got nothing else
Those days
to do.
are gone.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for a home kit, lads, I mean, honest to God, it's pretty shocking. But look at Newcastle Brown Ale or Guinness 00, because we did a mock-up of it. Remember, somebody gave me a snapshot when we were over there. That looked great. That looked really great. Like, it really made the jersey, because the blue popped with the blue here, and it actually made it look like a lot nicer of a jersey than it is. But again, £85, lads, €120 for that. Whoa.
Do you know what the best part about that is? The website does free delivery over €140. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Lads, we might have to all order together and get it sent to one of our houses. I think that's the only way to.
I have a secret investor going over next week who's picking it up for me, so I don't have to pay for delivery. Thank God.
Are you telling me that Tev is going over to orchestrate the deal for the Irish Mags to be the new front of shirt sponsor?
It's Sean Bowles.
Sean Bowles, special envoy from the Irish Mags. Newcastle
I love it.
You heard it here first, folks. Well, on that somewhat bombshell, let's take a quick break. We may have a Guinness 0. Other 0 beers are available. And when we come back, let's jump straight into a more exciting and happy topic, hopefully, transfers. We'll be right back. Right. Enough talk about clothes, lads. Let's talk about football things. Transfers are happening. And Alan, for once, or for what it feels like for once, we're doing things early in the window and earlier than most. Not only have we seen Anthony Gordon join Barcelona for a massive fee, we've obviously seen some players released. Obviously, Kieran Trippier is one of those. Just announced yesterday at the time of recording that he is joining Wolves. And also Matt Target out the gap, John Ruddy out the gap. Am I missing anyone else from the first team, bar some of those younger players, Alfred Harrison and Max Thompson?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think of. Yeah, it's strange to be acting like a big club. It's unusual.
Normal club.
Yeah, it goes to show you what having a director of football does for your club, though. Like, there's no more of these sagas hanging over our club, and even. And Mr. Ornstein tweeted today that Manchester United don't really have much of a standing in the Tonali deal anymore. They're more focusing on Fernandez and Alex Scott. So it just goes to show it looks like we've got our ducks in a row this summer. And thankfully, we've finally gotten our first player in through the door, which is it's nice. Like, the transfer window doesn't even open until next Monday, and we've already lined up our first deal, which is fantastic. It's not something we usually do. So I'm absolutely delighted.
And we'll talk about that transfer in a minute. But Krisho, do you think that us selling Anthony Gordon, bringing in that 80 million, was a big signal to all those other clubs to say, number one, this is the level we're dealing at in terms of the fees and in terms of, how much we rate our players and how much they're worth. But also now it means, we don't need this. Last season, everyone knew we needed the cash. Like, there was what happened with Anderson and Minta before that, but I think it was clear that we weren't really in a great position for cash. Add to that then player power, like what Alexander Isak did, that also isn't happening. So is that a signal to clubs out there? Number one, we don't need to fold in negotiations. We don't need the money. We're not under pressure from the players. And number two, you're going to have to come in pretty high to have a discussion, and hence why maybe some of these links are dying out.
Look, it's very straightforward. We had money lined up from not really spending the 3 windows, get ourselves financially balanced. The Champions League money coming in, again, it was going to be Tonali, Gordon, or I'm not exactly sure, somebody else, but somebody was going to be sold specifically before the window opened to give us an extra bolster so that we could kick on and get one in before maybe we might even get a surprise one next week with this Muniz guy, but we'll talk about it later. But it's imperative that, and I think this is what happened, is that Eddie Howe was asked, if we were to sell, who could we sell that is not really going to take the project forward? I think we can all agree that Gordon is a egotistical guy. He's an ambitious guy. To say that he's only starting his career now, I get what he said, but it was in poor taste. But he, signing for Barcelona, getting the €80 million for him is such a bolster for us, because I'm sure that Eddie Howe, even though he wouldn't want to lose Gordon, I'm sure he's kind of like, well, okay, if that brings 80 million in, and we have the Champions League money, and we've got money from last year, and money from the Adidas merch stuff, and so on, so on, so on. Well, then, okay, Ross, I want this dude, that dude, this dude, and that dude. Okay, well, we can go and get them. We can go. We can now go and get these guys. What Muniz is going to cost? What, 35 million euro? 40 million euro.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's young. He's got the same skill set as Gordon. He's an ambitious player as well. I think he'll fit right in. And I'm just really excited now, because getting one player in before the transfer window starts really shows, like Alan's saying, like you were saying, Paul, the ducks are all lined up. I think we're going to be, we might not be impressed with the Jersey guys, but I think we're going to be impressed what's going to happen in the next month and a half.
We might be impressed with who's wearing it. Alan, you were going to jump in there when he was mentioning the money situation.
He was mentioning Eddie Howe picking the players. I don't think Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe
doesn't feel
around.
like it.
I think Eddie Howe said, I want a type of player. I want a quick, athletic, tall individual. And he might have said, I want a player like someone from Aston Villa, for example. And Ross Wilson went, yeah, that's grand, but I will not be buying him from the Premier League. And that's the end of it. He's like, I will bring you this player, but it will not be a Premier League player, and you will have to use him. I think his days of dictating the player is gone. The style of player, the type of player, yes. That's exactly, because the manager has to pick the type of player he wants, because he wants to build his own team. But I think the days of him going, I want Harvey Barnes, for example, are well and truly over.
Or never mind that. I think it's more the I want Johan Wissa and Anthony Langa. I mean, that's clearly...
Yeah,
it
can't happen again. It cannot happen again. I just think he said, I want tall, quick, athletic players, and they've gone out and they found on the continent. Like, I'm not being funny, but if your man Munoz was playing for Villa, you'd be talking 120 million for him. Like, it's just scandalous, the money in the Premier League now. Like, it's the Anderson deal today that's coming out. Like, money in the Premier League is just a joke. It doesn't make sense. It's make-believe money. I don't understand that anymore. Like, there's no point to money in the Premier League anymore. It just doesn't make any sense. So
yeah, I mean,
just on that topic, 121 million pounds, right? I mean,
they want more. Doesn't the Forest want more that Isak cost?
Yes, they want 100. They want 120 million guaranteed with 15 and add-ons, and they've been offered 106 with 15 and add-ons. It's gone crazy. Stupid,
if that's the case for Anderson, right? Well, that's the price then set for Tonali then.
And that's why I think nobody can afford Tonali this year, because I love Tonali, but I don't think there's very many footballers that are worth that much money.
I tell you what, it might be. I mean, as much as I love Sandro Tonali and I feel for him not going to the World Cup, that could be a blessing in disguise, because I think he could have shown exactly who he is and what he does on the biggest stage there. Anyway, okay, Alan, you used a phrase there of tall and athletic as an example.
Yes.
Well, on the day of recording, we signed a tall and athletic goalkeeper who, from what I can see, lads, 6'5", French, 20 years old, Ewan Jouen from, and I'm going to give you the French pronunciation. That's from Reims. It's not Reims, it's not Reims, it's Reims, but we can say Reims if it's easier. And just like, not many people will have heard of this player. He's mainly played in the second tier in France, but this fella's highly, highly rated. Apparently, Real Madrid had a look at him. Again, you don't know where that information comes from. But Crisho, as a renowned Nick Pope enthusiast, particularly his legs and feet, this Ewan Jouen on his arrival interview has said, as a goalkeeper, I enjoy one-on-one situations and playing as a modern keeper, building from the back and being comfortable with the ball at my feet. I'm just going to say discuss.
If you want it, look, I'll tell you, if you want it, like in the leave insert, discuss 60 points. If you want to call it sexy, right? Because apart from the fact that this guy parries saves rather than catching them, we'll go past that for a second. Everyone should go and watch his penalty save against Lille. in the French Cup
I
last
believe
year.
he also scored a penalty for Dunkirk.
To win the game as well, and it was an absolute cracking penalty into the top corner. It was mental.
Love that.
Yeah.
Add 5 million for that alone.
I went back and I've looked at highlights. I've looked at the lots of different clips and so on and analysis. His distribution, his long passing. He's not afraid to have the ball at his feet. For such a big dude, I think he's 6'6". I think is he 6'6"? Yeah, he's 6'6". This dude is. But I'm very impressed. I mean, 20-year-old, under 21, French international. He's been playing since the under 16s or something, or under 15s for France. That's got to say something. Like, people are saying, "Oh, I can't believe spent 80 million on League Two," but we're signing potential here, like big potential. He comes across as a very sound dude too. Like, he's really. He really handled his interview well today for a 20-year-old. He seemed a very genuine guy, saying "canny" and "how are the lads" and all, good efforts. But look, he breeds confidence for me that Ross Wilson and the guys and the scouting people know what they're doing. They've got the right guy. I was always very wary when the other teams got corners against us, or because Ramsdale made a hames of it. Pope, God only knows what he was going to do, come out with his face and punch it away. Or when the ball was passed back to him, Christ only knows, it was comical what he was going to do. I was waiting for him to drop a banana skin in front of himself. But this guy seems assured for a 20-year-old guy. Do I think he's the number one? No, I don't. Does he think he's the number one? No, I don't think so. Do I think we're going to sign another goalkeeper? I'll leave it at this. Yes, I do think we're going to sign another goalkeeper and the number one. And you can wave goodbye to Pinocchio because he's going to Ipswich, or he's going to Leeds United for £6 million.
He's definitely not going to Leeds United.
I was going to ask you, Alan, because Alan, you were the one that said, well, I mean, look, whether Pope goes or not, but you were confident that Nick Pope would be number one next season, assuming he was still at the club. And obviously, if he leaves, it creates a question mark. But you can flip that now that we've signed this new keeper and say, whether or not Nick Pope leaves or not, but especially if he does, could this guy actually push to be in the first team? If he comes in, he's in early. There was a rumor he was looked at for the third goalkeeping spot for France, which was given to Robin Risset of Lens, who's another keeper we were linked with, lads, and he had a great season for Lens as well. They finished second in the league. The fact that he's here, he's in early, Eddie Howe will have all the time in the world to look at him. It's not out of the question that this guy could impress enough to go, why not? I mean, 20 is young for a goalkeeper, but he's not a child. Do you know?
No. I think he'll be given a chance to impress, but I honestly can't see him being our number one. I hate saying this. I pray someone comes in with a bid for Nick Pope. If we could get £5 million for Nick Pope after 4 seasons of Nick Pope and goal, after we spent £10 million on him, that is insane dealings to be done, and it's fantastic. And Nick goes with a pat on the back. Thank you very much. You won us a cup. You done this. You done that. See you. Thank you very much. He arguably stayed 12 months beyond, not as welcome, but his reign as number one should have ended 12 months earlier, I think. Yeah. It'd be a nicer way to put it. But I can't really see us spending another 20 or 30 million on another goalkeeper.
Who's going to be instantly first.
Yeah, who's instantly first choice when we've just spent 20 million on this young fella from France. Unless we can get someone on loan from somewhere, which off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone. It just doesn't make financial viable sense for us to go out and spend the guts of £50 million on 2 goalkeepers in one window. Now, don't get me wrong, we've signed, I think this is our 6th goalkeeper since the...
We love signing goalkeepers. Don't underestimate the funds.
But I'm going to throw a curveball in. Do they turn around to Vlachodimos and say, you're being given pre-season to prove you're worth the number one position?
And I think that depends on whether Sevilla actually would like to turn that into a permanent deal, and then there'll be cash there, and they're not blessed with cash, and the fee would have to be
they are now. Sergio Ramos bought them with some American consortium.
I thought that fell through, actually. Did it not?
No, I thought that happened. I don't know. Yeah.
Look, anyway. if Sevilla do purchase Vlack, I think that we go and get Trafford from Man City because I think he's asking to get out of there.
There's always Trafford. He's never not been. I mean, he like Malik Chow. We've been looking at him for 3 years. I don't know why we just keep staring at people and not actually doing much. But anyway, obviously we were very closely linked, and then he made a very, very poor move, or was very badly advised either by City or by his agents to join them. When a week later they went and signed fucking Donnarumma. But the Dortmund keeper is also one we've been linked with. The Swiss guy Gregor Kobel, who would he be number one for Switzerland, or is it the other chap?
Sommer, still knocking about.
Yeah, Sommer, who's a very, very good keeper. So that's someone else floating around. He's 28. Can't imagine he'd be 50 million, but you wouldn't know. Just for context, lads, Sunderland signed Robin Roofs last season. He was playing for them first choice at 22. Man United signed Sanny Lemons. He's 23. He's soon to turn 24. It's not 20, obviously, but again, it's still young in goalkeeping terms. I just don't think it's out of the question that somebody out there is thinking this guy could do it, but without expecting him or having to do it. But so it'll be interesting to see whether we see something happen with Nick Pope and Ipswich or Leeds or Hull or whoever it is.
Check me real quick if you can. Whoever's clicking there, check. What age was Shea given when he signed for Newcastle, and what age did he start playing? Because he played for 10 years straight, nearly.
22, I think, when he signed for us. I think
20. Because he was legit playing for Blackburn Rovers.
He was 21-ish.
21.
So he was at Blackburn, had a loan at the Mackems, actually, interestingly enough. But he was, early 20s, probably 21 going on 22. He was born in 76 and he joined us in 97. So thereabouts. But that was a long time ago. Things have changed. But
he went in. He went in and started playing and had 10 years in goal. So hey, look, it's been done before. I mean, okay, the guy's 20, but look at you can't dissuade me. There's no assuaging here. Yeah, this is an absolute. We are definitely signing another goalkeeper. I'm trying to give hope out that we don't have to watch Pope anymore. That we don't have to hold our hearts and minds in our mouths every time we watch Newcastle because he's going to do something stupid. So I'm really sorry. Tap on the back. Thanks for everything. Good luck. But we have to go get another goalkeeper. We absolutely imperative to get a new goalkeeper. It's imperative.
Well, the good news is we have a lot of time because there's a whole lot of window left and we seem to be getting our sleeves rolled up at the very least. We've talked a lot about goalkeepers. There's a lot of other names and positions floating around, Al. So we might just do a kind of a little rattle through some of the names. And I'll probably just pick the ones that I've seen more frequently, particularly on social media and listening on other podcasts as well. But there was very, very, very close links to the point where we had a bid accepted, apparently for Zadok Johanna.
Yeah.
And the one thing I'll say on this one is sometimes we have to hold our hands up and say, well, Brighton were in here first with this player. And what that tells me is that we need to be in earlier, not that the player has chosen Brighton before us. I think that deal was already probably done. We got in there, let's say, a couple of hours or a couple of days before it was done. And then Chelsea came in with a couple of hours, as Chelsea do. And I am delighted he's refused Chelsea. I think I don't see the value in many players going to Chelsea if you have the offers of Brighton and Newcastle. But I don't look at it as he signed for Brighton over us. I think that was already part of his plan for quite a long time. And looks like an exciting player, but I don't know if I feel like we can't say we've completely missed out because I think we came into a deal that was nearly already done.
I honestly don't think we ever placed a bid because the day we supposedly lodged our bid and he was still him and Han was the day he was announced by Brighton. He was in the jersey. I think our name was used by certain people in the media, not saying he's a spaghetti eating man from Mr. Romano. I think we are being used as a crux to get clubs to pay money. Like the whole thing of this Zadok Johanna move came out of nothing, but it was all done and dusted supposedly, and Brighton just didn't want to pay the 21 million instead of, I think they wanted him for 18 million. And then all of a sudden his agent supposedly offered him to Newcastle, Chelsea, Man City and everyone else, and seemingly there was everyone interested, and all of a sudden Brighton paid the money and he was announced 2 hours later.
Yeah.
It just
strange.
It just screams of an agent trying to tout as much money for a player as he can get. And this, if I was in that position, I'd do the same thing myself. It's the game. It's what you have to deal with now. Unfortunately, it's
the agent probably got that 3 million. You know, as
it could be the agent. It could also be the club. Like, it might not be his
100%.
agent, because by choosing Brighton, you do feel this is a player who's being advised well. And there are, like, Yasin Ayari is a player who went from AIK to Brighton. It's from the same club. Obviously, Johanna isn't Swedish, but he is at AIK. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's a path that's been taken before. So it looks like he's been advised well, but even the club themselves might have been trying to just bump up that fee as well, which is understandable. So we move away from Zdeněk Johanna. And in particular, there's probably one, if not two, names that have really done the rounds this week. And one in particular, lads, who's going to be at the World Cup. I don't know if we're going to see him, but surprisingly, a player who finished 17th in La Liga with Osasuna, who had a really, really good season by all accounts in a poor team. This is Victor Munoz. We seem to be very, very keen on this guy, Krisho. You've probably had a look at him. From what I know, he's a Spanish version of Anthony Gordon. I think he's a bit shorter, low center of gravity, better technical ability. So I've heard.
He's just as fast. He's 5'8". We're talking 35 to 40 million euros.
Great height.
Great height. Yeah, great height.
Same height as me, that's all.
He's tricky, he's swift, he's a grafter. He comes back and defends, which is going to fit into Eddie Howe's kind of way of playing. He can play on the right and the left. He can also play in the number 10. He's a very, very, very good player in a very, very poor side. And I think, because Osasuna haven't done so well this year, not that they do well most years, but certainly very poorly this year, I think it's very prudent of Newcastle to try and swoop in there and try and get him and offer them 40 million euros and just get it done. I personally believe that this is the one that's going to be announced kind of 1 or 2 days into the window. And now Al's shaking his head, but I think that this is the guy that we're going to go out and get, because the links are too strong and the likenesses to Gordon are too much. And it's a cheat. We're getting them for half price of what we saw Gordon for, and he's 23.
100%. We want them, and I reckon we will place a bid for them, but we will not bid for this man until after the World Cup, out of fear that we buy him 40 million. Yeah, he breaks both his legs and gets hit by a car or something like that. Like that's what will happen to us if we sign him. He will do both ACLs and then be hit by a plane.
No, Al, but what if he plays well? Like, what if he plays well and then at the end of the World Cup, it's 68 million.
See, lads, I don't think he has a release clause.
No, I don't think he's going to
play much.
I don't think he'll play much either. But it'll be in training that it happens to him. No, in air look, and it'll be the day after we sign him.
Does he have a release clause? Is the release clause
40 million release clause? So there's no. It'll go high. Now hear me out when I say this. Man United have done this before, but they've paid over the odds on a release clause to get favorable terms, which is something that people will go, that's stupid. It's not really. If you can turn around to Osasuna and say, look, we'll give you 45 million, but we'll drip feed it to you over 5 million installments, whereas you're only going to get 40 million from everyone else, I think they might take it. So there is a way to go, yes, look, and from all accounts, he is interested in the move. The other side of the coin is Sunderland had a bid rejected from him in January.
Oh.
So, like, yeah, Sunderland had a bid rejected from him in January. So that's the market we're dealing in now, lads.
Do we know? Does anyone know what Sunderland offered? Or the
25 million and one of their midfielders whose name I can't remember.
I didn't know that either.
Yes.
All I know about this guy is he was at Barcelona when he was a young kid, and then he was in the Real Madrid proper.
He was in both academies, yeah. And so like you can't be a bad player to do that. Like,
no, you can't be. Straight away. Interesting to see if he can transit that to the Premier League. But again, from what I've seen, what I like about it is that low center of gravity thing. This is what and I am in no way comparing him, but what made Messi the player he is was the low center of gravity. That ability
and Maradona.
Yeah, literally. And Alan Williamson. Do you know?
I seen him compared to the Spanish Ryan Fraser, so just like
oh yeah. Oh my god.
There's a scale, and it's Ryan Fraser. It's Leo Messi.
Oh my god.
Look, either way, it's an interesting one. Look, I was just looking at Spain's World Cup group. They do have Cape Verde in there, so maybe he
Could get a
features
game,
the World
yeah.
Cup, which would be interesting. But yeah, interesting to see how Ross Wilson hands this one. Sticking in Spain, look, there is another player who I think is also going to the World Cup. Is it Morocco? El Zazouli.
Yeah.
Abdi El Zazouli. Is he Morocco or
he's Morocco? But he
Morocco.
he done his knee last week, so that's probably not going to happen now. Yeah, so he
must have already signed the contract.
He's out until the quarterfinals of the World Cup with a slight meniscus tear or something like that. So he is someone that now can't pass a medical until at least after the World Cup. So that's on the back burner.
Have I been dreaming this name just because we're speaking about left wing or right wing wingers as such? This El Mala guy.
He was told he's not being signed by Brentford because he wants the guts of 130, 140 grand a week, but he also wants his brother to be brought into the academy and to be given 50 grand a week.
Oh, what?
Which is
I'm sorry, I'd be like, sorry lads, you're not the Longstaffs, get out of
here.
Yeah.
We're not having that.
I did see people say, when Chelsea signed Eden Hazard, don't put Saeed Al Mala and Eden Hazard in the same conversation.
No.
Not the same thing. Like, not the same thing. So, like, I can't see us bowing down to his demands like that. Not unless we're absolutely desperate come the end of the window.
Can I scream one at you here, right? Not scream, but can I just shout it out, right? That I think that maybe we should.
Yeah, don't scream on the podcast because
I won't. No, I won't. Martinelli. Wait, Al.
I don't rate Martinelli at all, lads. I mean, I'd love to talk about the other Arsenal winger we were linked with, which was one I think I mentioned a few months back when we were speculating about potential transfers. I don't love Martinelli. I think he has a great game, and then you don't see him for 5 or 6 games, and then he has another good game. I think that's just too hot and cold for me.
He's a fake Brazilian. He's actually called Martin Kelly, and he's from inner London. Fucking
if he was Irish, he'd be Martin Ella.
Bring us on to January. Bring us on to January. That's
Nwaneri is the one that stood out to me, lads, because I can't remember the context of the pod we were on, but I think we were talking about what would be like a possible transfer, and I think I said something like somebody should go and get. It was a January pod. That's what it was. It was a January window, and I said I think there's an opportunity with Saka and Madueke in his way as a right winger, left-footed, I believe. Someone has an opportunity to get Ethan Nwaneri out at least on loan, and then Marseille did it, and I think he did okay at the beginning of it, and then it might have tapered off. And then obviously the manager left and so on. But I just think this player, like, I remember watching him when he was 15 coming on for Arsenal. They've really taken their time with him. He hasn't even begun to play football at Premier League level in terms of showing what he can do. And now Max Dowman is coming on the scene, and he's even better than him. And I'll say the same thing, Alan. Someone has an opportunity to get Ethan Nwaneri out of Arsenal, surely, still.
Absolutely, and he'd be one I'd love to throw 30 or 40 million quid at, because it would be something that Arsenal would be very tempted by, I imagine, because they have so many options that I do think Nwaneri may be fourth choice for that right wing position next year.
He's only 19 since March.
Yeah,
it's, you know what I mean?
Insane.
It's great. I'm not sure why, but I don't know why they brought in Madueke when this guy was there. Maybe it was just he's not ready or wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But now they have Saka and Madueke, both England World Cup internationals now, both going to be there in the World Cup that kicks off tomorrow. I don't know, Krisho, like, if you're looking at one or the other, I would go way towards Ethan Nwaneri than I would for Martinelli, even though he's on the right and not the left. But I think we need a player for both sides either way. So
if we could get a loan to buy, and Ross Wilson could negotiate a kind of a delicious Willock 25 million fee, that would be. I mean, I know that's not a thing, right? But I think that's what Willock cost us, 25 million. But
yes.
Maybe 30, 35 million, right? But a loan to buy. So give us a season with him, and maybe we can activate it in January if he's doing well. But yeah, God, I've seen him play a couple of times, and I'm like, Jesus, he's what age? I mean, God Almighty, he's really good, and I think he'd fit in really well. But again, is this one of these ones where it's like, I mean, he's played in the Premier League probably I don't know, 30 times, maybe, is it? Something like that. But I mean, I guess it is Premier League experience. But there is reasons. I mean, it's not just his age. There has to be other reasons why he is fourth choice, why he is. I mean, look at Saka. Like I think Saka's one of the most overrated footballers on the planet.
He is, but he's also still very, very good. And
yeah.
Madueke is very, very good. And that Max Dowman kid looks like he's going to be absolutely insane at how good he's going to be. I think Ranieri is just very unfortunate that he happens to be playing in a position where Arsenal are absolutely stacked with aces already, and he just happens to only be a king, if you know what I mean. Like he's by no means bad. They just happen to have one world-class winger, because not world-class, one very, very, very good winger in Saka, one brilliant winger in Madueke, and one kid coming through who has the potential to be absolutely astounding at football. And Nwaneri is just behind the three of them. That's why he's fourth choice.
Okay, let's go get him. We don't get Muniz. Let's go.
Yes, indeed. There's plenty of other names on here. I mean, you have that Jeremy Manga guy at Leicester.
I love him.
He was Premier League. Was he the youngest in the Premier League at one point? He came on against us, I remember, as well. Yep. He's playing at Leicester. I also saw he was linked with Arsenal, so there's more of it now.
Mane Wolves. What about Mane Wolves?
Mane Wolves is an interesting one. I think he'll stay with them for another season. And then there's the midfield conversation. We already talked about them last time. So Victor Froholt, Lamine Kamara. Look, we're looking in the right places. These are the right names to be talking about. Like, again, this time last year, it was just, we were just talking about Anthony Elanga. Now we were excited about it, but I think this is a much more different proposition, I suppose, in terms of what we're doing. And I don't think we're there yet, but it feels like we're willing to take more risks. We're using our scouting network a bit better. We're looking into the data. We're looking into the numbers, and we're not just going for want of a better phrase, the obvious. And I'm okay with that. There is a world where you can go too far down that spectrum. You don't want to go too far away from Premier League experience or senior professional experience, but we've plenty of experience in this side. We're the oldest team in the Premier League last year, if not one of them. So
one of the oldest teams, I think. Yeah. Well, like there's Dusan, right? Dusan Vlahovic. I know Al, again, this is another bringing Al to shake his head. I love when he shakes his head like that. But I mean, again, this just won't go away. This won't go away. Every time I go online, every 1 or 2 days, Dusan this, he's interested in this. He'd love to come to Newcastle to talk. He'd love to be part of the project.
Obviously, he would.
I think his agent would love him to be part of the project.
He's on 300 grand a week at the minute. Alexander Mitrovic started ahead of him for Serbia. He's the new Morata. He's a money laundering footballer. Whoever he goes to is just doing something illegal. He is not. He's a good footballer. That's all he is. He's not a 300 grand a week striker. He is. I'd be devastated if we brought him in, because I just see it as we're taking time off of Sula, because that's all he'd be. He'd be a Sula's replacement.
Yeah, I just don't think he gives. I don't think he gives you the channel runs that Eddie Howe wants, the pressing that Eddie Howe wants. That
he's the Ollie Watkins striker. He stands in the box. He's a target,
which can be effective, but
100%. Doesn't fit the way we play.
And the Marcus Rashford thing is out the window. There's no way he's coming to Newcastle.
Another 300 grand a week, not happening. Just lazy journalism is all that is.
Absolutely. And on that, lads, I'm feeling lazy. I think it's bedtime. That is probably enough transfer talk for now. It'll be interesting now. We've got 6 weeks of a World Cup to take place. This is going to be a manic 6 weeks. You can imagine that some player is going to score in this World Cup within the next 7 days and be linked with every club under the sun, including ourselves. So there's a lot more links to come. But as we said, this feels a lot better as a transfer window.
Paul, give us let's do while we're out here, because it starts tomorrow. Let's give predictions, right? Just who's going to win it. Yeah. So I'm going to go first, and I'll give 2 teams, right? One who I'd love to see win it, and one who probably will win it, right? So I'm going to go. I'd love to see Colombia do well, right? I mean, you just kind of like, why? But I won't go into it. And I think Netherlands are going to win.
Ooh.
It's a crazy thing to say, right? But you know, you heard it here first, everybody. It's 26-1. So if anyone, you know, responsibly likes to,
I would
bet
say it's an
Euro,
outside bet, and
yes.
you could back them to go far. I haven't even looked at how the draw might look if they get to the late stages, but they are one of the best nations ever out there to not win it. So
Mhm.
who knows? Bit like Mayo for Sam. Alan, who are you backing in the World Cup?
I think Spain will win it. I'd love to see Japan do well purely because they always bring out belters of jerseys. But I'm also a fan of the Dutch jerseys. I have a couple of them upstairs myself, so I wouldn't be opposed to them winning that either. But Japan, I would like to see do very well as well.
Okay, Spain.
Interesting. I think Portugal are going to go very, very far, and it's nothing to do with Ronaldo.
They can't go far with Ronaldo up top. Did you see him play at the Aviva?
Yeah.
It was like putting me up front for Portugal. It was septic. They can't, unless Ronaldo gets injured in the first game, they will not do well.
That's how they won the Euros, when he got injured and cried off. Then they actually won the bloody game because he wasn't begging for the ball every 10 seconds. But anyway, look, did you say, Paul, they're going to win it or they're going to go very far?
I think they can win it, and that's based on either Ronaldo, like, just basically they've learned how to do a bit more with him, and not that they're not going to get him to do any more. It's just adapting to having him in there.
Yeah.
Or I think Roberto Martinez will have a bit more balls after an hour to go. It's not working, and he'll bring on Gonzalo Ramos or whoever it is. But lads, the midfield, you've got João Neves, Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva. You've got like Nuno Valente at the fullback. You've got João Cancelo. You've got Ruben Dias. You've got it's like they're an unbelievable team. The Ronaldo thing is obviously the problem there, but if they go in and click to any extent, and if you think about what they can do to stop other teams with the players, I just think, particularly Neves and Vitinha, lads, is two of the best midfielders in the world. But Spain,
lads, we beat them. End of conversation.
Wouldn't mind
that. we did beat them, man, and we beat them convincingly.
Wouldn't mind that. Portugal, they only beat us in the last minute, and we are honking. They're not winning the World Cup.
I wouldn't be too worried about that. Genuinely.
Who would you like to see? Who would you like to see, Paul? So the Portugal, okay, and then who's the other team that you maybe would like to see do well or kind of?
I'd like to see well. I don't know. Ireland aren't there, so you wouldn't like anyone to do well. I mean, you'd have the crack with Scotland, like kind of be representing us over there. I suppose like that maybe.
I was speaking to,
and we have Jock in the group.
Yeah, I was speaking to a Scottish fan last week. And he said they're going over actually for the 3 games, right? Don't even ask them what it cost, right? And they said it's going to be classic Scotland. They're going to lose to Haiti in the first game. They're going to get a draw in the second game. And then they're going to push Brazil right up until the final minutes. And Brazil are going to win 2-1. And that's it. We might get one of those third places in. But he said guaranteed Scotland will lose to Haiti 1-0 or something ridiculous. But like they're all, he's got the 7 games through the Scottish FA, supporters group thing, and I mean they're going to be what's in Philadelphia or Boston. I think it's Boston for 2, like 1 7-day block for 2 games. I mean Scotland's going to take over. The Tartan Army are going to take over. My God. So I'd like to see maybe Scotland do all right as well.
Well, even if they went on a run, it just brings a bit more crack into it, because if the Irish aren't there, someone's going to have to be good crack, and it won't be the English, as we all know, lads. So, and then flip it, lads. The only other one that I'd like to see win it, just because vibes, I wouldn't mind seeing Bruno Guimaraes lift the World Cup. He will have the time of his life if Brazil get to that final, and he could be a big part of it. So that's the best we can hope for, because Ireland aren't there. Right, lads. Last but not least, for one final time, and we won't mention anymore, but because the number officially dropped today, lads, 3.6 thousand euro raised through the Irish Mags charity fund after the Charity Cup. One last time, huge shout out and thank you to everyone. Can I just say
one other thing?
You can.
Jonathan Hickey is currently on a cycle.
Oh yeah,
to St. James's Park. So if you're on Facebook, have a look. Just drop him a message of support. It's absolutely fantastic what he is doing. absolutely unreal. So, John,
Man, Jonathan.
fair play to you. Thank you.
Man,
so
Sponsor
much.
of the podcast as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Man,
Fair
John.
play.
Man, John, much appreciated. Right, lads. That brings episode 128 of the Irish Mags Show to a close. Check out all the Irish Mags socials below. Check out theirishmags.com. We've got a season's worth of photos up there. I might still have some more to upload as well, lads. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of crack happening with this World Cup to keep us going. We may be taking the odd week off here and there during the World Cup. I'm also slipping away for little holidays. So depending on what's happening, if there's big news taking place, you know Alan Williamson is going to be at the desk hunting Chris down. Having our money. So until then, we'll be back when we'll be back. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Chris, for joining me.
Thank you, Paul.
Everyone, for listening. How away the lads. Slán go fóill. And we'll see you all again soon.
Slán a bhaile.
Good luck.